Hello there, good people. Patricia here. And the summertime is a great time for reflection. I always talk about that. And one of those topics that is fantastic for some reflection is resiliency. And what does that mean for you in your life today? Not just how resilient are you, but how are you growing yourself to be more resilient? And what does that mean in terms of your engagement with other people? Now, how do I get here? Okay, there's always a backstory. Um, y'all know I collect plants, and I have been hobbling around, getting all my little house plants together, taking care of them. It's been fantastic for so many things, for just stress relief, mental health, all the things. And I love getting back into it. But the nervous ninny part of me still has moments where it's like, oh, I gotta go research all the things and like what happens if this and you know, great. That's what I do. It's really helpful because I want to be able to take the best care of them. And then there's still just going to be things and times when stuff happens to the plants, y'all. Something I can't explain, that's unexpected, or maybe it's been building, and I'm like, oh, and I have gotten more resilient with not getting as worked up when a plant doesn't make it. I've being like, okay, what can I learn from that? Or, which maybe that's not the plant for me, or, it's not a great fit for the conditions in my home right now, all types of things. Or maybe you shouldn't have bought that rehab plant because, I do like a good rehab, helping a plant come back. I love that. But I bought one too many at a time a few months back. And so now I'm kind of pulling back. And so I have a new little host of babies in here. My husband has been adding to the collection. So I have some new ones I'm learning about. Well, I'm still taking care of some of the ones that I've had for a minute. Two stories, literally in the last couple of days. They may have happened on the same day. I can't remember. One with an older plant, one with one of the brand new ones. Brand new one first. I had been holding out on deciding if I was going to water it yet. It just came in. I was trying to acclimate it. And so as I'm doing so, I've got it arranged in this basket, trying to like, I really want to probably try to lift it up a little bit and figure out what I can use. But as I'm doing that, I I took I took this one leaf, and it has a very strong, thick petiole, strong, thick leaf. But I went to raise it up. I'm like, will this raise up against this bottom, lid of this basket here? And it just went pop and popped straight off. And I like it was so unexpected, and I completely freaked out about it. I was like, oh no, I just got it. Like, what have I done? So I'm having to be like, okay, what do I need? Is there something I need to do? I don't want to, it to get infected with something. And I was, it caught me off guard, right? I wasn't ready for that. So I took it on over. I did my little research. And then I decided, let me just go ahead and water the plant like I intended. Gonna wipe it down. And I keep checking on it. Doing fine. It lost a leaf. Folks are like, it happens. It was unexpected. I helped it to lose the leaf because I did not realize it wasn't that it was brittle, it just was I tried to move it in a way that not like it was not ready for. And yet this plant's going to be just fine. All of my research on it is that when this plant gets going, gets growing, you're going to have problems trying to keep it in place. And that's something I'm looking forward to, right? It is known to be a very resilient plant. Whether you underwater it some, whether you don't necessarily put it in the completely, best light for it to grow, Like this plant is one of those that generally just says, whatever, I got this, I'm going to grow anyways. So I'm looking forward to that. And, still being a little like anxious about popping that leaf off unexpectedly. But those things happen, right? In life. Second plant, one of the ones that I've had for a while that was a rehab plant and was doing fine, and then it wasn't. We're in its old location, and I did some more research, found out that the little tag on the thing was worthless. It completely inappropriate, and so I moved it into my bathroom that has great light and the humidity that it needs. Cool. And I normally give it a shower, once a week or so. And I realized I hadn't done that. It had gotten a little off schedule and it's watering. It got off, but I needed to make sure it's dry out. So I did. And I literally put it in the shower, let the shower run. And I came back in here and started doing something else and forgot to set my timer. So then I hear my husband say, so how long did you want this shower to be on for this plant? And I was like, oh, crud, totally forgot. Go in there, I take it out, turn it off. It's been a little moment. Like even though I try to keep it on the cool, it had gotten a little warm. I was like, oh no. So as I'm pulling it out, I set it out to let it, air out, dry out some or whatever. And as I'm checking it and about ready to put it up later, to put it back and let it hang, I see one of these newer leaf tips. Um, and this is a pretty sensitive plant. Like it requires some things. It doesn't like certain things. It doesn't like scraping and cleaning or whatever because it literally takes in air and water through the leaves and these tiny, tiny little fuzzy hairs that it has. It's all kinds of things. And I see this tip that's just white, 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 and I hadn't seen it. Like I didn't notice it when I put it in there. And I see, and I'm like, oh no, like what happened? Did I bring to light a bug or pest or something? And it totally freaks me out. I'm like, what am I gonna do? Because I already know this plant is sensitive. It does not like a lot of chemicals on it. You gotta be careful. So it's like the first thing I think of. Like in general, yes, I give it a shower, but I do not generally like just let it sit in tap water. I feed all of my plants with distilled water because I can't keep track with what's okay with tap water versus what's not. So everything gets distilled water. Except when I give a few of them a shower. And first thing I thought was like, oh no, it was too much tap water and these minerals are building up and it's showing up in the tips of the plant. And I was like, oh my God. So I'm trying to pour this water, some distilled water over it and all of that. And then I'm like, well, maybe it's a pest coming to light. So I go get my little specialty spray to spray it. But then I'm like, no, let me just go in with the Nemo. And I'm trying to guard the rest of the leaves with just this one tip. So I'm like, if I lose it, at least I'm just going to lose this one leaf, is what I'm thinking. And I'm checking another one. I'm like, I'm not going to spray that. All of this goes on to the next day. And I'm like, and I'm looking, and of course, you know me, I've done my little research, and it's like, oh, when they're coming out new, sometimes they do really show up like, and I'm like, but none of the other leaves have done this before. And here we are a couple of days later, and it's curled over. It's not straightened out like it was, but it's still there. It's hanging on. And again, realizing this plant's like, I got this. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. You kind of screwed up, messed with me there. And I still don't know fully what happened. If I just didn't see it or what. But the plant's like, I'm good. Brand new one, an old one, rehabbed, both of them very resilient. And I know. You're like, you just made me listen to all of these stories about your plants. What in the world? Well, you got to tolerate a story or two. Yeah. Here's the thing, in our lives, we will build up some resiliency, hopefully. It's it's learned. It doesn't automatically come to us. I have to read, y'all know how I like a good definition. So this one I came across and talking about what resilient, defining what resilience is. Resilience is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties, adapt well to change, and bounce back from adversity or trauma. It involves mental, emotional, and behavioral flexibility, allowing individuals and systems to endure hardship and continue growing despite setbacks. Y'all, I saw that and I was like, yes. In a video I did more recently where I was talking about adaptability and flexibility, I didn't really get into talking about resilience, but being adaptable and flexible are built into that resilience because it's not just your ability to stretch, right? Like a rubber band. People was like, oh, you're so resilient. You were able to stretch and do all of this. No, it's the bouncing back, right? It's that part of where you don't break. It looks like you're about to break, with that rubber band, but you bounce back and you're able to still hang in there even though you may have been stretched to a limit, even though you may be facing a really challenging time right now, as so many people are. The ability to recover quickly. That doesn't mean you don't get to be in your feelings or that you don't get to like have a moment. You do. And allow yourself that recovery. And the more you exercise that muscle of being adaptable and flexible and uh, being stretched and bouncing back, you also build up the ability and the muscle to recover more quickly. So 10, 20 years ago, there are some things that, damn well near may have taken me out emotionally, professionally, different stuff. That today I'm like, okay. Cause I'm like, I've been through some things that where I was so stressed about, even a few years ago, I'm just like, okay. Because not because they don't bother me anymore, not because they're not still challenging, because they are and they will be. You will continue to have challenging experiences. You will continue to have difficulties or hardships or experiences that make you feel like, I don't know that I can come back from this. And yet you will. That's the growth part. Because every time you stretch that muscle, every time a moment, and sometimes difficult times are not bad times. Sometimes there's difficulty in growth because everybody's not always happy for you as you grow, as you get to a new level. Sometimes the difficulty is in the challenge that's presented to you as you are looking to grow, as you are moving forward. And what others, some people might generally consider a great opportunity, there's going to be others who are going to be threatened by that, right? And that can be challenging. And so that resiliency and the ability to be resilient, to bounce back, to adapt to change, all of that comes in so many different ways, and recognizing it as a point of growth, uh, a necessary one if you want to, because the more you want to achieve certain goals or levels of things, like the greater the challenges may be, or maybe even the depth to them as to what they look and sound like will what they will be. And so my question to you is, when was the last time you sat back and reflected on how resilient you actually are? I know that, I mean, and that sounds weird. And I know that there are moments when I realize I haven't done that until I watch or observe something that's going on. And I'm like, yeah, I dealt with that. And then I'll realize, I'm like, yeah, and you made it through. And it's good. And when I can share a story with someone to help them understand, like, this is not the end all be all, you're going to be okay. Not in some flippant, don't feel what you feel, but in the way of saying, I've been there, I've watched other people be there, and I just want to reassure you that there there's freshness, there's a fresh wave of growth and strength, and ability that's coming to you as a result of this, and that you actually can bounce back from it. And that is such a powerful thing, not just, some, of course, you always can talk about it in terms of uh, professional and career related things, but also in our personal lives, in our communities, with the people who are close to us. Like, there are things and situations that pile on, because sometimes the resiliency comes in being able to manage situations that literally layer on top of each other. Because, when life happens, it generally doesn't just happen with one thing. Like, things will suddenly come on in multiple layers. Something over here at work, something over here, in your personal life, with a family member, all of these things. And the ability to address those in a sustainable way, that's the resiliency. That's the bouncing back. That's the growth. That's the um uh what is it? What did it say? How to describe it? Those That flexibility and adaptability. Because as I stated in a video not too long ago, we don't want broken people. We don't want you to be a broken person. We want you to be able to bounce back. So it's really important to go take a look and engage. This is a perfect time for it. Any time is, right? But this is a perfect time to go engage in that reflection about the things that you may be experiencing right now, that you're like, I don't know, this seems so tough. But then I want you to go back and think about some things from your past that you thought you couldn't make it through and you did. And fill the gap with what you learned from that experience to today, and know that you have building blocks to help you today that you laid the path for in the past. There we are. You are way more resilient than you realize. And I want to encourage you to reflect on that. Take a few moments to do that. And share it with me down in the comments, in the DM, somewhere where you can connect with me. And while you're doing that or getting ready to do that, remember also to hit the like and thumbs up button to help reach these conversations and discussions to more people who could benefit from it. Share it, right? And help us to remember to celebrate who we are, who you are, and all your fantastic glory through the ups and the downs, and remembering that each and every day you absolutely positively have something worth celebrating. And I want you to go celebrate that one thing today. Take care. Have a great afternoon, or wherever you are in the world. And we will see you in the next video. Bye.